I just started speaking there and I had been muted. The joys of technology. Welcome to you all who are here. I can't see you, the audience. Welcome to those who are going to be reading, but I'll be talking to them later, who have stuck with us over these 10 days. This is the final day, day 10 of the 10-day online durational reading of Zong. And I am tired, nervous, but I think we'll get through this together. The first thing I want to do is to offer a poem to the ancestors of this land in acknowledgement of their being the first people on this land, their struggles, their stewardship, and my and our solidarity with them in those struggles. Some of you who have been listening to these live streams have heard me read this before. The sort of working title is I Did Not Become Someone Different, and it plays with the words from a song by Gil Scott-Heron called I'm New Here. Gil Scott-Heron, you might know or remember, is well known for the expression, the revolution will not be televised. I did not become someone different that I did not want to be, but I'm new here. Will you show me around? I hear your languages in the sounds of the streams, the rush of the rivers. I'm so new here, will you show me around? In the trembling of the aspen, I see your laughter, mother, father, daughter, son, the joy of your kinship. In the smell of forest cedar, I know that you walk with your people. I only ask that you show me around. Although made different, I did not become someone different. But you see, I am new here, and I did not want to be. In the serene calm of cold that winters this land, I feel your presence, where I am so new. Get glimpses of spirit in the searing white against white. But I did not become someone different that I did not want to be. I bring memories of red earth and ancestors' bones. I bring strong to join with yours. I bring laughter, I bring tears to mingle with yours. I am the bent bow from which the arrow of the future is shot, but I am so new here, where I did not want to be. But if my ancestors could sit with you ancestors of this land, of freezing lakes and green conifers, I think they would understand each other. They would know that we, their children, were touched, caught by the same hurricanes of history that tear our lives, leaving shreds of memory. I did not become someone different that I did not want to be, but I am new here. Will you show me around so that we can guard the earth together? And I did not mention, I forgot to mention, forgive me, that I have here on this altar desk some tobacco and some sage in honor of the ancestors of this land. Thank you all very much. What I want to do next is pour a libation to our ancestors, my ancestors, your ancestors, participants and audience members. I want to welcome them to this. So I'm going to angle this down so you can see a bit more. I've been trying to do this. I bring over here. There's some red soil here from Swaziland. I visited many years ago. I'm going to pour some water there and ask the ancestors to be with us today. I'll tell a quick story. When I visited Swaziland, when I first saw the soil, the morning I awoke there, I asked the person I was staying with, who was a Sangoma, if I could eat it. I was so drawn to this soil. And of course, she said, no, I couldn't, although later on she said you could heat it and so on. But I would later find out that, in fact, that is what, when you visit a new land, you actually take a bit of the soil. This is in Africa, and you taste it. This is a way of taking the ancestors of that land into your body. So it's interesting how we carry those memories with us. I also have a little gin here, which I'll pour on the ground. Again, libating the ancestors and asking them to be with us. I always sing a little refrain to Eshu, asking Eshu not to look on us with disfavor or lack of favor. It goes something like this. And what it means is absolute guidance of Eshu protection. Eshu is the Orisha, the divinity of the crossroads in Ifa, in the Ifa practice of the Yoruba people. It's also a place of possibility, place of potentiality. And so I just sing this little refrain. Maje ki Eshu bawaja. 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 That bell references the Shouter Baptist tradition in Trinidad. And then the seeds, again, which is a summoning of ancestor spirit. And what you see here is the book that when I do readings, the book is tied and I usually have it sitting in the center. So I just wanted to show you that. What I'm going to do now is just offer thank yous. I think it's really important. And I am taking time today. So the first thank you I want to offer to, we call ourselves the team who have worked together on this project. Yanya Lee, who approached me this year saying that, telling me that she had said to me before she wanted to work on the next Zong production, durational reading. And here she was again asking me, and together, her and Zoe Imani Sharp and Stella Isaacs. Stella, I have written here, Stella Creates. That's your email address. But Stella Isaacs, Kiera Bolt, we call ourselves the team, and we have worked incredibly hard to bring this to you. And I think we're really happy with it. I should also mention, as I mentioned, Yania, she is part of a group called Amalia Emilia, and I've noticed I didn't mention them here. They put some funds into this. Richard Douglas Chin, a professor at University of Windsor, through the university, he put some funds in. Ola Mohammed, professor at York, she did the intro and outro. Faisal Dean has done the wonderful poster. Diane Roberts brought her directorial skills to day 6. Kate Siklosi and I brainstormed ideas around media and social media and how we could do this online. Sean Henry Smith shared ideas about the possibility of using Zoom. And it was looking at a little broadcast of his that he had done, which catalyzed us into thinking that we could actually work with Zoom. Nazreen Hemada of Plug In Gallery in Winnipeg, who sponsored this closing event. Thank you to Plug In, thank you to Nazreen. And again, it was talking to her when she said she had some people who would like to read with me. I thought, we could make this happen. James Alistair Sprang, who gave advice on tech very early on. Paul Chamberlain, my partner, whose help is constant. Collective Broadcast Company, who have gone the distance with us and done more, much more, so much more than we expected or hoped for. Thank you. And to the wonderful Catherine McKittrick, whom some of you know has amazing work of her own, but is also, I think we have to, give her a shout out for continuing to bring to us the work of Sylvia Winter, who has been doing this work for years and was somewhat under the radar for a long time. I always said that if she were a male, she would have been much better known. But thank you, Catherine, for that and for your help. Without your help and Natalia Hunter Young's help, they provided quiet support in the background. This would not have happened. So thank you all. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to call the names. That's a ritual that we do around the dead, those killed by police violence. But I want to call the names of all those who have participated in this. And it won't take very long, but even if it did, I keep reminding myself, take the time. And I don't think that they're in any order, but I'm just going through. Thank you all. And before I call their names, I had a short exchange with someone via email, and I said to him, and I won't call his name because I didn't really have his permission to do that, but I said, the readings have been very taxing. And this is what he replied: the readings being taxing, it makes complete sense to me. I think anyone from any spiritual tradition recognizes what you and your fellows are doing as the work of making yourselves permeable, which is, of course, immensely active. To generate and sustain such active permeability is exhausting. I hope you're taking care with and of yourselves, and I hope all the readers have been able to take care of themselves, and all of you today will also. I shared a note about that earlier on. I always feel very hungry after these readings, and I have to really eat a lot and food with a lot of sauce. But here are the names of those who have made themselves available to be permeable. Curtis Santiago, Richard Douglas Chin, Edna Carolina Gonzalez Barona, Utonia Julian Otok Bitek, Diane Roberts, Kuda Mutamba, my grandson, I have to give him a shout out, Ola Muhammad, Amber Rose Johnson, Adam Philogene Heron, Natalie Wood, Lawrence Lacambra Ipil, and friends. He never provided the names of his compatriots who read. I'm sorry, here they are. Bettina Choa, Heng Jiamin, forgive my accent, Nikki Yao, Go Ruize, Joel Lee, Rachel Zucker, Faisal Dean, John Arnold Lawson, Linda Jacobs, Cicely Nicholson, Lauren K. Aline, Miriam J. A. Chansey, Evie Shockley, Rosamond S. King, Jerome Ellis, Didi Red, Y. Josephine, Julie Justin, Anne Phillips, Annie Domingo, Mirto Comarianos, Sister Lois, Camille Kwamina, Bushra Junaid, Veronica Constanza Ward, Barbie Asante, Gail Lewis, Faluke Taylor, Amal Al-Hag, Jessica Horn, Ronnie McGrath, Femi Oriogun Williams, Vanessa Richards, Imani Robinson, Nydia A. Swaby, Hakim Taylor, Catherine John, Alyssa Trotz, Kate Siklosi, Aisha Hamid, Darius Carter, Tina Post, Oliver Strand, Ronaldo V. Wilson, Pilar Rianio Alcala, Erin Baines, Tonya Foster, Sean D. Henry Smith, Imani Elizabeth Jackson, Gabrielle Octavia Rucker, Tavish Timothy, Chimwemwe Undi, Chimwemwe Undi, Melanie Monoceros, Sappfyre Mcleod, Mahlet Cuff, Shaneese Steele. Those last 5 are reading today. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You'll see me changing spectacles. This is my computer glasses and I can't read very well with them. Thank yous. And just a few thoughts before we enter the reading. On the second durational reading, I broke down because I felt myself anxious about hurrying and taking time. And someone sent a tweet, I'm going to read it. The durational aspect of the readings, 10 days, 8 years, 182 pages, is a taking time. Is not passing over time, but taking it, taking to time. In order to move forward, she must take time, steal time, take time back from the past for the future. And that's how I see you young people, as the future for us. I just want to go through just a couple of comments on my experience of the readings, and they're just little snippets. I'm plucking small memories. I can't mention everyone, so don't take it as not mentioning you in any way, as I've called all the names already. Day one, I remember the nervousness of the first live broadcast we did. I recall Curtis's beautifully resonant singing voice and how at the end we didn't want to leave each other. I see an email I wrote to Collective Broadcasting the morning of. One word, butterflies. Day two, the dialectics of Amber Rose Johnson, Philogene Heron in Bristol, Adam Philogene Heron in Bristol, and Natalie Wood in Toronto. Day three, Lawrence Lacambra Epil and friends, who honored the silences of the text by shaping the words around those silences. Thank you, and for all that. Day four, this was actually the first pre-recorded session we did, where I think we saw how we could break through the limits of technology. And for some reason, Rosamund S. King's reading, where she was moving quite a lot in the space, remains with me. And the other thing is the fading of the voices one at a time at the end of the collective silence. I also recall Lauren Alleen's drumming that at the end that pulled me and us back to the present. Day five, the hauntological quality of this reading, and Didi Red's bruised tongue as I described it. Day six, the roiling turbulence of this reading, curated by Diane Roberts, punctuated by song and by images by artists. And I have here, I learned to make my hands talk in this one. Day seven, a transcendent reading organized by Barbie Asante, and I've read all the names there before. It was a very close and patient reading, 11 readers. And what I felt was happening was that they were also paying attention to the spaces and the silences and the rests. And I thank you for that. I learned so much by looking at these readings, so much about how the text can be read, and it took me back to my early days of reading it. And day eight, in this one, I recall The Calling of the Ancestors by Catherine John and Ronaldo Wilson's Eruptions of Music. Day nine, yesterday, a powerful reading by Sean Henry Smith, Imani Elizabeth Jackson, and Gabrielle Octavia Rucker, and Tavish Timothy. And I texted him, and I won't read his text back because I didn't get his permission, but he did mention in it the technology. He mentioned Detroit, which is where Tavish is, and described Detroit as the sacred home of Black music, and talked about the music technologies, and the cables under the Atlantic that are connecting us all together again. So thank you all for that. I thank everyone for their time, their skill. This was all volunteer energy, and your time, your skill, your energy and thought that you brought to this event, which feels like an eruption, and eruption as in breaking out and breaking in of something. I see it as part of the continuing insistence on one of the questions Zong raised for me. Should being be sufficient, or must it always be contingent on something else? And so without further ado, I want to just say something about today's reading, which for me, in terms of the aesthetics and the idea behind it, it was to bring it into the present day. And so if you remember what I wrote in the beginning, this reading was grounded in the UN Day, the UN announcement about the decade for African and African descended peoples, also indigenous struggles, and also the earth. So the imagery here will reference some of those, as in indigenous struggles for their land, their languages, their cultures, the earth, BLM. Also, you'll see lots, we won't be seeing it, but the audience will be seeing imagery of manhole covers, iron, because this last section is titled Ferum, which means iron in Latin, but also Ogun is referenced on the first page, and Ogun is the divinity in Ifa practice of iron. His metal is iron. And so in those references, those images of the steel and iron, you'll see references to Ogun. Also, it's a reference to the technology that has been so brutalizing to the earth and to us. And there should be some images of African material culture as well. We're reading with fewer people, so you may be seeing more images than you would normally have. And we have a small group reading today, but I know we're equal to the task. And I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves. And at the end of that, I will also, because what we have today as a surprise and a gift is the musician Kobena Aquaah-Harrison, who will be playing with us. And so Kobena will introduce himself because he's on a separate Zoom stream. Unfortunately, we, the readers, won't be hearing him, but you, the audience, will hear him. We'll have to enjoy him after the reading. And I just want to say, because the readers today are all young people, and I'm so excited by that because I believe that they are our future. I believe, I hope, and I'm asking them to guard it well as they do their past. And I know that they're up to the task. I've been listening into their conversations while we were waiting for the Zoom, and they're so sharp, they're so on, they're so with it. So it's a real joy today to have you all. So without going on anymore, I'll ask you to introduce yourselves. You know the order you come in. And at the end, I'll call on, after Sappfyre, I'll call on Kobena to do that.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
Wonderful. My name is Chimwemwe Undi. People call me Chim. I am a poet and an articling student studying law, based on Treaty 1 territory in Winnipeg, Manitoba. My people are Zambian and Zimbabwean, and I spent the first dozen years of my life in Windhoek in Namibia. It's my great honor and pleasure to be joining you today.
Hello everyone, I'll introduce myself in my language first. So, Anin Bojo Boju, Shaneese Steele, and Dobo to go Nishna Bemnang, Jijak and Dodem, Anishnabe Makade Kwe, Trono Donjaba, Minwana Bising Danjaba, Debenjagane Nakuya Mississagak. So, hello, my name is Shaneese Steele. I'm Afro-Indigenous. My family here on these lands, what some know as Turtle Island, are the Nabising people or Nipissing people. And then I have ties to Trinidad and Carriacou, Grenada. As an Afro-Indigenous person, I am so excited to be here today and honoring ancestors and being a part of this with you all. So, Chimigwech, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mahlet Cuff. I'm Ethiopian and Jamaican. I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Treaty 1 territory, and I'm an artisan organizer, and I'm very grateful and happy to be in everyone's presence and be able to be a part of this, be part of this reading tonight.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Melannie, monoceros, and I'm also here in Treaty 1. My people are Jamaican, Taino, and Arawak. And it feels very, very special to be able to honor where I'm coming from and honor the future, and call in the kind of ancestors that we want to be tonight. So thank you for hosting us and for having us.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sappfyre Mcleod. I too am of Jamaican descent, proudly so. I'm here in Treaty 1, born and raised here in Winnipeg, and it's just a delight to be able to share in this reading as we honor our ancestors and continue to make space for each other. It's a beautiful time, and I'm excited to read.
Thank you all so much. My heart is so full. At this point, I'm going to call on Kobena Aquaah-Harrison.
Yes, thank you. I don't know if you can see me, which camera, I can't get to that one. But yes, my name
Kobena, can you hear?
Kobena Aquaah-Harrison. Yes. Are you hearing me? You hearing me okay? Great. I'm Kobena Aquaah-Harrison, and I'm very pleased to be and honored to be with this group of people in this reading of Zong. I think each time it's an historic event and a great tribute to our ancestors, a great tribute to the history of the world. It's not only an African history, it's a world history. And more people should know their history and our history because it's their history. This is my third time to participate in Zong directly. It might be my fourth. And I find every time it's a very cathartic experience, very healing, and a blessing. And an unknown, it's beautiful to go into something unknown. Even when you have an idea of it from before, it won't be the same again. It's always going to be bringing something different to your experience of the world. So I find it fantastic and an honor to be part of it. So thank you very much. And also I'm from Kobena Aquaah-Harrison from Ghana. I'm a Fanti. My mother is from Bermuda. So I feel I sort of bridge the continent and the diaspora must represent all everywhere I go. So thank you.
Okay, I just got a message saying that Kobena is done speaking now. As I said before, he's on a different Zoom stream. And I should introduce myself. I come from Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago, but was born in Tobago. Consider that the place of my soul, actually. And on both sides have connections to Yoruba people, Yoruba land in Nigeria, and also the Fula people and in Sudan. So it's a great pleasure to be here. And, you know, I just had a quick thought as I was looking at the box with Kobena's instruments and so on. We can't hear him, but isn't that what was our condition when we first came, you know, to this part of the world? We couldn't hear, but we could hear on another level. And I think this is a culmination of that. We're going to hear him today as we read. Yes. You know, they talked about Africans flying back to Africa. I don't know if you've heard of those stories. You know, my mother would tell me every Friday Kwashi would fly back to Africa. So today we will fly and we will hear Kobena playing. Okay, and so on that note, we're going to start. Thank you all. And we will, at the end, gather together and just debrief or hold each other. Thank you all very much. Iled Soman Why man neg? Why man neg? Roses, Shine, grows yam, Why man neg? Negroes high. Third, if she rests.
He lied so man. Why man nay?
Is, I miss.
She nay grow.
The city.
Yeah.
Ruth, why?
Hi.
Our lie
Her. Yeah.
grows
She.
rare and sad. And we, Arab,
I led so man.
enslaved.
Why men neck?
It grow.
Why men neg? North Negroes.
Rose she negros yam.
The lure of why.
I so man. Why man Negroes?
Wate and
Ine
the lure.
Rose Yam.
Negros hide.
For wafin.
Negroes hide.
Find the food. In frenzy.
Squire leaps.
I let a man.
Scent of
The
love.
city.
Why?
Le sang in
Your lips.
Rose.
And sad.
Here.
And we are being
sad.
that's like
Negroes.
It grow me as in go. We tear the
go
up death. Ploy the sky.
See the Negro.
But tell you, read. I did do not. Read it, I die. Read it, I die. I die. Read it, I die. Deep, not writ. I, it, I. City is not a stone. Why? Or a towel. E to be told.
Grow me at in
Our nay.
our
pig.
Grow our. Big in a pole. Toy mist. Cook neg. O's force. Loves. There's grows I read.
Not a store.
See my ma. As of night. Hard arm. For the poet oft. Roy, we beg, new scene. Ildo snow, reservas off. As tears and rose, near by my soul. Flagsome die, the others are rethrow in others, row them, elves in hands, uma pernala,
Space.
Man el ma.
Actors.
Noel Pierre.
Of night.
Ra. Wrist.
Salomon.
An arm. A leg.
Others
A
that
hand.
Others are
A
thrones.
head. A
Others
coat.
rose
Old. Care. Ha.
and
We
Be the
in
she.
For a
Royal
town
Paiute,
Ma.
to be
Leg. A.
Fist
Hand.
and
A. Head. A.
and
Theater.
arm,
Be this she.
a leg,
Negrota. Her. The
the
road.
beard,
the road,
shame,
Amen. Road. Amen. Road. Mission. Esodu. Destroying the nig. Height of man. And cast the mo. Vera cast.
Troy in the
Be
name,
of port wine. Wind. If for why. Ooh my ma. Ooh my ma. Ooh my ma. It was a.
When for why at my mind,
a port,
no more.
one for you,
they have
my man, it
Ashe of it. Ooh you in star. Of in he sees ours.
I tired
L I tire hands no more real feed on way edge weeds fade flame shwedin a on neg Rome rose had go far the sun comes
in the day
in the
Ifa sola am ramams am I am e am ha am e am ha am wa e am ha am am you we race away in the day it told you my
my words
in your mind,
I run
entity,
water
weeds feed on
rouse
goes I
skin on
Pez and grin,
Il dum de dum Restoa in the day told you my it was how to sa Il dum we bro out them to mark fat sheep Negroes a bust of our ma bust of our ma the king near my butt at a time oh sad sa machine ag ain il doje ga pess and grin me at the store in at the store near Karen with Mo grip her fire Stue fast be for a move
the day
Shandalai.
my words such
Will you
you my
unmiru Uth as the
so
was
truth of my
in
words in
the
why who I
freedom
run for og
rose
water for
them to
all
my
sang for S
You
Shango I seek the
frozen to be
sun for Shango Shango
We are
I seek the sky
created
I
I
with
they the in in we ren the kin in skin in we ren pour them in
not
he grows into
for yield
and what
we will meet
breath,
and M
and floods with force. We
with
are
in the
asked
guides day and
storm.
day
their cries
guide
right
Can with
the
no
woo
way
rest
roam for
fast
the city
rip her
oh
we
for the
fast
summer with
for
you
or after Afra for
you
you and
and
all that I give of the
and
brain
ice
of
pray
er such with he
for
and
the
ale
life
they
late that
turn to time
my
drug of all
late
live on
they
where run
me
to
rebel
excel so all
birds such
dance at Eden
Lord
and
and
for
Ram
so
are
rest
in
for
heart
glory of the
and
land
my soul
to
the
of
I
the
deep
man
in
glad what
her
er
brain
such with he had the negro
to
the
than
woe odds
so
to
a
lie
and lie
in Eden
in one
on Oswal a Shade and Ade Wale and Shade hide in the woods no respite from over with her over with he with high they say traps for wow 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 water Wale Shade and Ade Ega
and
day I serve
turn
him they see
over
me sit wrapped at my word such an the pent up foe so low
fish
and
into
hide
rest
I
and
in
rep
the woods. No
ere my
rest
soul old id draw near
for
oh the
the
God pra
who
over
rubbed them
the saints
they set
she
traps
here
are my
in
P
road
lear such a
listen
faith at
who
from
me
or
and
to
I
sin we traverse the say as letters in
me
destiny
wrap
grows a bulma
my words
bring
and
el
breath
bring
pent up
the drums
of
to their
soul.
land we
I
are
pray
called as
you which
these are
anger
things
I never see
their faith faith
To
they're not
the la the that no more
rest
we
and
are
reply
grows a bulma ricket bring
so
June
I
dawn and
big
go gone the
while
opera over wed, drop her where we eat good drops so fish roll and hay. I'm saying nev sane be for the war odds drops and rare in wind hear the
Negroes
they are
and tar bring to dawn and go gone the era over we
his age we are
the wrongs
they are so late for
over
we stop
let the
you
and fall at night.
live
Not
great
out pray
and orange
just
not
is
Lord
this one bag
race
so
and
where we eat good drops so up fish roll and ha
her hair night that I'm out
the curse
out that
in their
seen never odds drab and rare in wind hair the negro has for fire wale day and add ye are pray Sue Tanga
that I should be
I have
the oracle
Tanga I have Tanga I have they never see the last
versus
delay
word was
Yes, who deep fire wale day and he apresu chu I have never seen the la lay dead no more his ajewe are lat hey they are so latte for Thai
as run
you my cap pain my life Lord and ra and Ade Par they said Ruth murder in
rid of him
and we are we are
and for the
we are we are
cold
in we are
all
they are air
onward the most
time and
we are ban any east to the left east left we are raised me hector fat
that I should be so lost even the
a day like that Ray, not
Hair nailed
my.
through
Ray, not
the
my.
wood to the mast.
Safu,
We
Safu,
fly
Superfly,
on a tide
for
to
eel,
from
bring the
murdered, robbed
fret
of
and
all
fret we
we
eat ham and spoon.
we
all
recite
drops
God's
a
Say the
verse
Sioux we rule, say the Sioux
into
we rule, with our
God's
bones,
most
say with
foul
here
words.
cries the
What
pole, here
do
cries the
we
now
cries the
all
pole, here
mine
cries the
that
pole,
yield
here cries the
the
pole,
card
here
that
cries the pole, here
to
cries the pole,
wrapped
here
to
cries the pole.
that black my
her
suit
the
was
five
heartless.
of
Him
and
gold
he
his
is
gold
his
gold
now.
nails in his
The
hands,
sun goes
feet
round
on
as
his
how
keys,
long
and gold
they
those
In time and out,
slave
at the
was
end of
slave
fire
out of
rough
time,
restless
I and out of time,
oh
I and out of
Them
time.
and
made
others. How long have they laden in earth
one go
and
at a
fire, rubbed skin with
bow
oil,
and
yet
so
doth
E for
not
our fair the tear, fair the tear, fair the tear.
Oba Sabo, ye Yele, Ye Ye,
run in
Afra for
between
why?
our
and
we
me
arms,
are
Aro,
own obo
and
omi
All that
omi
Omi
they
O,
mighty as I run.
Ye Lam O,
I
beam the shine.
say,
Omi
See
O,
are
wow,
me as
Yo,
sand
e
corn
aru
O
see we
Ye,
set sa,
o
as
yi o yi
il de
and
pi,
O,
o ye mate
run,
har
ole
Ero,
run,
into
baby
tie,
o ye
rin to
run,
tie,
obi
rin to
ole
tie,
obi
drug of
run,
o ye
run
ye
and
Hulai,
run,
Hulai, they are,
ole
though
and
are, there were dust,
La
run
Omi,
for their
Zanba, El,
lives.
so all call,
Day
Huldan,
has
Yat
torn
Eden they,
Show,
Ray is
sword,
Bray, I'm
Curse,
carping,
tree
ooh,
Ye,
Rapound,
omi nala
Fi,
o
in
ye
Do,
ye
Elzuba,
obi
the
o
run,
Arete,
Aboa,
Gus to the
Ba,
toe,
Toga,
Puff, way, Ad, why? To
Be
do you, sir, e my, si and sa, nay, el dolce, we, hers are reds,
as
log,
be rid
hog, a goat,
there
so we can lie
would
in, you can lie, we in
to
great
the
e,
mast
ashe figs and all,
slid
anje hot boo, tia say,
of
ra,
row
they
and
are,
picks
lien to
murder,
all,
rob them all.
Hara
All they
we hold there
at
the, she shows us her
to
bear,
run
rus and fell, I
into
Malta, oh play how Jew,
Anakin
this
into
son, he bag of spur,
from
into
Omi
grab,
Webe Oro Eki
Ipo
Ashe of the
the
body
jib, the jibes, the cur,
Amo
sis they cool,
of
in tough, their own words, own words,
but
their own
now
words,
he
the most
hath my
foul words in
mind
Dagora,
in
the most foul words in Dagora, Rizate,
he
Matema,
deals as
Matema,
we
Matema, Matema,
heart so
Matema, Hey hooker, me
la
what is this
the
curse that I do,
in
curse that I
say
show, Curse me, what is this? Curse that I show.
in the
Old
gay
so,
salt,
old so,
salt,
even the aura,
that
the
tongue
aura,
salt,
and the
cur,
in the
gives
iron
us
ears,
and
how
she
in the
gives us
salt,
how fat, less at vespers we rest.
salt,
Hey
under the
God,
spring,
there, ses, all words, wata do, cre, ateheb, et her, at cards he low. Sir drat, that rat my suit was, hot pimp, up there gold, up there gold nails in his hands, fey, et on his hay, at gold though.
Up there,
Save the salve in you, sin why,
led
ooh,
and
why,
long
when the
to the mass.
ooh, when the
in the skin of the
so
chest.
so
Untied
unbe no
The
am
word,
no
the voice,
in
in
no
the
of
trap
I
of
Marie
rest untwines
run
you in the net.
for me ask
In the
Koba run
peace
for you
and
life
ever wise
run
make
in
Shade
the
run
hair,
ad
me
run Ale
under the
asa run
nails,
Wale run Wale
know the
make
in
ring
the
so
of
ear,
gold air
sin
befools
in the
run Wale and
Mary
Shade run
at
for their
red
life Shade
from the
sortie
swale and
to
finish
see
under the
Neldo
and
they a red
finish
tog of gold
salt,
over
a
under
man
the
old
skin
water
there
of the
he
grows
from
has my knee.
I is milk
best the grow
and
I
my and
pest
missile
to
in
my
be
the
rid of
dreams
him
of
skin
there
of the
I
sea.
led
For
to
words, the
grab
voice in
do
the
to
of
the
trap
mass
of
hot
the
we
of
slid
we are
Reese of
deaf to the
be on a tide
but
of prod
for a
leg
word,
of
voices
leg
of kin in the trap
Get the
of
two
give
reason
them
binds you fast
iron
in the net
iron
of time.
I
Skim the
is now
scum
Shade
sun
of
run,
gold
Ade
rock
run their life,
they
Shade and
hang
sortie
on
there,
long
as the Negro eyes a pest,
ago.
rid of him up there, nigh, led to woo just the mass we slid, on a tide of
Were
the
a
mass
tale
we slid
to
on a tide of
be
to
told,
murder,
is
rob
a
them
tale
all,
to
all they
be
one
hate.
told,
go
She
but
spins, hat
to
up drops, a
ta
stun,
at
into
full
the knee, ep,
rough
before, mes
on
bone,
thought
amo, te am, o,
the
back
ooh,
and
oof,
pest
oof, but
rose too
now,
stern. Men of
he,
the
but now,
stern we
has
oh
my,
are, men
in the
yeah
of
day, as he
stern
deals, he
me
cards,
and
he
we
sit rap,
are
he
run
will
our
win her
race
by he is hot
by
get her to get the toe and the
and
eye roll
go and
she I
ring so
as his now
close
the sun go as round as eve
we run
how low
our lives
had they
fell
la
and
in their in on
go
fire re-rub the
ring so
skin with oil
grow ever
wow
wild
shade ha they want
to
go
turn
that body ho
make rings above
again
so to
and the oba song oh
the
yeah yeah yeah
in
oh
the
oh yeah yeah la
sea
oh yeah yeah oh yeah yeah
Terali
yeah oh
and
me oh
we
baby arrow ne
we
oh yeah
yeah la
as
press
they
oh me
the
bless,
Aro, Auru,
Big
Tattoo,
Lanti,
I am
Male and
Caribieo,
and
Lantico,
bless,
Lantico, Caribbean,
pattern, give him
Bibieo,
to his prophet ocean of sky, wait from
the river
know how under us
sea is
the rose its
freshwater Negroes. The
was
sea is
Oh yeah,
my
yeah, yeah, yeah.
is mere.
Lantico,
mi amo
Is my and
mio, mio,
would
mio,
I be
I
mio,
Madre
we are
is
oh mio, mio, mio,
we
mio,
my bar
mio,
dentro
mio, mio,
over me
mio, mio,
us
ao
so
full, e
I
abo,
do
e caribe, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh, Joshua Lua, e abo, oh yeah, yeah,
Madre
oh,
is my
oh yeah, yeah,
oh
Lantico, Lantico, oh yeah, yeah,
absolve
oh yeah, yeah, me, ara,
and
oru no me,
hearts
oshu, oh yeah,
fail.
yeah,
You are
oh yeah, yeah, oh Lantino, me, lu, osha, osha, osha,
to their
we
cries.
be, oh yeah, we be,
Balegana,
we
balegra,
be
que
a
alegria,
king, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, we water king and Sam from the north, yeah, we Ebora Aki Ash
was
Sa for
on
the breeze of oh yeah,
we all
Caribbean,
God and
so for the
gave
bones, the bodies of kin under
good and
the skin of sea, under the
go
skin of sea, under the kin of sea. Oh yeah, yeah, oh,
and
Caribbean,
light
oh yeah, yeah, oh,
be
Caribbean,
their eyes
oh, Caribbean, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah,
and
oh yeah, yeah, 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 oh yeah, yeah,
heroes
oh
will
yeah, yeah,
cry, they will
oh yeah, yeah,
you
oh
of
yeah, yeah,
all
oh yeah,
the
yeah, oh yeah,
for the
yeah,
majesty
oh yeah, yeah, oh
and try
yeah,
to
yeah, oh Caribbean, oh the voices of kin, Audi in the wind, Patwat, Epatbo, Nepa,
bring them
Teso,
from
Dasenler, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, Ansa, Sisa, Tindani, Yesot, Andaha,
islands
Andaha, Esot
of
Underina, Sal, on the
and gave
outside.
them
Till the
they
no, Yesot
gave
on the
us good and a good
Tra, free, sun,
the
you
Fortune,
in the land,
in light,
in the scum, in the scum,
sunbeams,
there the school,
I
froth,
is
pen,
cloth,
pen, right no
their
more.
ka,
1 hour lago,
K,
and
5
K,
and
in
go.
long low,
The ring
is
go
in
go da, oh yeah,
I will
here
hear
with
of
yeah,
and my the ring about
and
so
Erewa,
did I write
Satal, Etaba, Etodao,
that hand
oh, Buffon, the shade, stirring, then a step, by, in we are,
I hear
ye we run our lives, yes, my buff, ooh, our voice, the ring so weather with turns back, rings above, so too,
find your
oh, the fire
that
in the same
on
family
bread
we add bread,
we
add we eat
ever
fry,
happen
fresh
upon
roll,
my sin
dash
in the sea.
add we
what
eat fry, fresh
where
from the
me
deep,
rose the
allianza,
sea is meant
at froth,
is
fish, fish,
And water
is
his feet
oh
is
yeah,
a
not
snare
oh yeah, yeah, oh
happen
yeah, yeah,
matter
Caribe, yeah, oh
day
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah,
red,
is
oh yeah,
my
red,
Atlantico, oh
oh
yeah, yeah,
more
Papa
misfortune than I can know.
Ansa
start
in the
and
eye,
Think
rust
out eye
white
in the ha, air
over
salt,
over
blood
here
and those
on
hot
the
the heat at we are the
pins and
African
say,
air
the deep,
rise
and shade, at ash fish,
can
rock the
all
rusty, we be, fresh one,
do.
tear nag,
If
knows the
only I
sea
could
is
write
Malawi, high is mare, high is mare, mare, high is mare,
sea
mare
sweet
is black and white, and bad hair, and make hair, and smadre,
nation of
omeo,
a
awa,
cleanser
egara,
are
oh,
my
over me,
give to them
on the head,
of
at we are dead,
life
after their cry,
and
Espalek,
light
oh yeah,
bone
oh yeah,
now the pint
Caribbean,
the spread of bone O S and O
give them the sea,
reed
give them the sea,
where
the
to
sea,
live
to prove to
ask
them a nation and for to lend
water
your ear to their
give them
cries, as mine to
peace
give
they ask
themselves.
for bread give them
and man
they ask for life
Fewigi,
give them what
oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, Caribbean,
faith
oh
ask
Tico, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah,
them a fair man
oh yeah, yeah,
was
oh
late
yeah, yeah,
in
well
yeah, oh. They give them the life they have won, and all the
and
sea,
a real
the sea
on the
geese,
floor the
that's up the sea,
Negro
that's
they
up the
were
sea, Cretus,
not
ASO,
they were
SSO, SSO, they
hope
ask
eat
for
the
water where,
from
your water where, your water
them
where, Is the E they ask. Here they ask for bread. Here they ask for bread. E they ask for bread. E they ask for bread. We give them seed. We give them seed. They ask for bread. We give them seed. They ask for life. We give them seed. They ask for life. We give them only the seed. Was that a fair trade? Was that a fair trade? Read his what in his prophet, Bove blue, Ose, and the sky, wait, calm, no clo, under us, they see the air grows, Bove blue, Ose, and of sky, wait, calm, no clo, the us, blue sea, cat, the air was grown, the air was grown, it was dry, they for prophet,
now that
me amo, baby, I, oh, we bo show, na bantu, we be fante, edo, and rada.
A trap for his feet, a snare for his tired for his fortune. I think my pen can write no more here. The skin of the why
at the say we
I write on what my sins have say what I can.
I do pay you to kin, donation and flag, lend your R to the cry, we be, lend your ear to the cry, lend your ear to the ties a spine to, they give themselves. Life we give them, life of bone. We give them the life of bone. Now the sea now the sea. 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 Vest up the sea. Cret of bone, yes, oh, SSO, SSO, SSO. They ask for
Gold.
They ask for They ask for
such an uncommon man.
Means their shit and
I write
They ask for
They
ask for They ask for
you will be
They ask for
I am due
for water.
take
Them
the
see
paper
they ask for bread. They ask
on
for
his
bread. We give them sea. They ask for life. We give them only the sea. Only the sea. The sea.
if only Ifa he falls to the weight and what
did I?
By all we gather them
I call
and Davi and good they give us good and
all
go
time
deep
on
the wheel
Ten
of ours is like the sun's beam. There is
neither
shit
the
and piss
stable one
and pus. He rose he a beam of woe. A beam of woe. A beam of woe. God forgive the strong to Did I write that? Did I write that? Hamlet. Did I write that? Did I write that? And fee, roll dates and five, rabbits and five. Sweet me at best, we didn't come on. Eon negro meat and ranges a lass of and serves you to mind yours. Tap now, lad, on bread and ata, we breed them, breed them, we breed them, we breed them, we breed them, breed them, play me pat, pater, for I have set a snare for water, set a trap, water, set a snare for wale. Shade oh wale Shade a trap for his feet, a snare for wale, a snare for Shade, shade, oh, shade, oh, shade, I trap for Wale. For his feet, a snare for hers.
Of the sea, how do I
And Shadi are tired, go tear, id,
is to
more miss,
why
fortunes that I can know, ink my pen, here on this of the sea. How do I get? How do I get to this too? Why? Ooh, if only I right on. Tell my sins say to you, what I can, you what I can, we be what I can, not I hate. Are only the road, are only are the water,
upon my
water, yes, boy, fist, add if you happen upon my in the sea gives up its tear. Read secret, read secret, read secret, read secret. Oh, can bear it. Oh, hear the bow. Oh, hear the bowness of God lie here. Dean he sing, lose a pint of sing and fall, lay and on a dead nay, grow on the salt, grow on the alt, of our grand head, where lie they our life, raise and take test lose the absolute in God and man. For at Roy once of gold, a bar,
dead name,
the bar rough old way at all heads. Oh yeah yeah, oh yeah yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah yeah, oh yeah yeah, oh yeah yeah, oh yeah.
Edward lie.
Day is hard. Why late in Tim? I long God for cold black. S the harsh wind, softly down. The blind of them past my hope traps men. Maze you why? Ooh, big man. Me, I see you to right, old time. Memewa, laying you right. It's for me such an uncommon man. I say you writ on pap, you writ on pap, you writ on pap, you writ on pap. I write, dear Shade, you Shade, oh, dear Shade, Shade, oh, dear Shade, Shade, oh, Shade, you be my queen ever. Me, I miss you, and Ade on my lips. You be my queen, Shade, Shade, you be my queen. I miss you, and Ade, ever miss you, and Ade all my life. EIA, kiss the
Time
harsh his ooze on his
sense of the Tao.
Shadeo, Femi, Ifa, Shade, oh, Ifa, if only Ifa, Shade, oh, Ifa, if only Ifa, he falls to the wee, he falls to the wee, height and waiting water. I call his name and all to my own, my once, my non-queen of Niger, able one, Nigra Afra, Shade, oh yeah, oh yeah, Shade, oh, Africa, over and over, the over sobs, Africa, over and over, oh, Shade, oh, Wale, oh, Wade, oh, Shade, oh. Africa, oh, Africa, over and over, the over sobs, the over sobs, over sobs, the over sobs, Shade, oh, wale, oh, ade, oh, the over. Olupitan, Lana, Ishsi, Kobena, Atoampem, Kwesi. George Floyd. Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland. We be, oh yeah, Atlantico. We be, Caribbean.
Is that fair trade?
We be,
I ask you, I am a fair man. By bell and gone.
fair and over,
Scan
over,
a real on board.
a
The
deep,
Negroes play drums to the deep with them
George Floyd,
listen
Sandra Bland,
as they fall.
Michael Garner.
Bless
Bless
me.
me.
I am all sin
For I am all
by
sin,
word.
my word.
Bless him.
Bless him.
Pardon, give him this day.
Dictator, give him this day.
Bread his water, his prophets above
His water, his prophets.
Awaits, calm, no cloud, under us blue sky,
Under a blue sky,
the air it groans,
the air it groans.
It was as the drive for prophets. Dos tu dos mi amor, we be I bo we shunan
We
be
be,
ban tun
we be,
we fate edo
we be, we be,
and ra de that
we be.
and no man.
Oh yeah, oh
Yes,
yeah, oh
we
Atlantico.
were sat
You write to my Shade.
with
You take paper and write to my Shade. You will be my queen. You write to my Shade. We be, they sing as they fall. They sing as they fall.
We gave them God and gave us God
Gave them God.
and God. We
We
light of our in light of sunbeams. The shit and piss,
the shit and piss,
bile and puff.
and puff.
There is sin.
There is sin.
In he walks will I hew a beam of wood for the mast, strong to hang them from. Did I write that?
Did I write that?
And
Use the
fish,
absolute
rose, dates, and figs, sweet me at sweet dye on Negro meat, and oranges, a lass of 10 serves us. Mind your step now, lad.
Mind your step.
Mind your step now.
Mind your step now.
On bread and water we breathe them less. Me patter, for I have set a snare for Wale and Sade, a trap for his feet, a snare for hers, Wale and Sade, tired. We grow tired. More misfortune than I can. No ink my pen can write, no more here. On the skin of the sea, how do I get this to you?
Do I get this to
Would write on water my sin.
water my sins?
The sea say to you what I cannot. I hear only the roar of the raw water. The sea's voice, a fist to the heat, and if you happen upon my sin in the sea, gives up its dread secret. The sable, oh, negra, afra, de, Africa, Africa, and over, oh, basa,
Usually we start the debrief, but I see Kobena is still playing. I'm not sure. I sent a message to Tech about this. I think it's still. Okay, thank you all very much. That was simply. My heart is full. And usually we do just have a few words if anyone wants to share. If you don't, it's quite okay. If anyone wants to speak, I just thought it was a really inspired, profound reading from all of you. Thank you, each and every one of you. Beautiful voices, someone singing, all of you have such wonderful singing voices. I'm always very envious of that. Yeah. And Kobena, thank you so much. I couldn't hear you, but I could see you were tapped, and I thank you. And my apologies for interrupting there at the end. I wasn't sure if it was just repeating itself. But I'm sure it was beautiful. And to Collective Broadcast, I could see in the box, I could see what you were doing with the images. It's really lovely. Thank you too. And thank you to all the listeners. And thank you to all of you who've tuned in either for one, however many of these readings. I had a sense at one point, even though we were starting this section, I could feel the weight of the previous days. I felt tired, and one of the things I say when we do the durational readings, we do it over several hours. There's an uncanny mirroring of the slave voyage in the sense that, the most we've had at one is maybe 40 people, if that many. But by the end of the night, which is usually around 1, 2 in the morning, there are about 7 of us that remain. So there's a kind of winnowing that happened on the rail voyages, and a winnowing that happens because it is really durational. And I could feel it today too. It felt like there had been a long journey. hmm And that these 10 days represented a period of time where people were thrown overboard every day for 10 days or 11 days starting on the 29th. hmm So I thank you all very much.
Can I ask you a question, NourbeSe, if you don't mind?
Absolutely.
How does it feel to be kind of done the 10 days? And how does it feel? Is every year very different when you after the 10 days, and do you kind of feel like a sense of relief, or do you feel excited for the next year to keep doing it again?
Well, I've never done the 10 days before. This is the first time. We've always read the book in one night, but of course, because of COVID, we couldn't.
Right.
And so began strategizing about how to do it. So usually with the durational readings, I should have explained this at the beginning. We start at around 7 in the evening, and we don't finish before 2:30, 3 o'clock. And so we would read a section, then we break, we have something to eat, we come back, we read, break again, have something to eat, and that goes on through the night. The last section, Ferum, the section that we read, the pages from it, is the most difficult, the longest. It takes roughly 2 hours to read, just reading it straight through. And because it's so fragmented, it really challenges the reader, particularly when you're tired, like you're constantly strategizing. Do I read for meaning or do I just read for sound? And again, I think I think of parallels in terms of language, in terms of the duration, the tiredness, and then at the end of it, that you have to begin again in terms of our ancestors, some of our ancestors. So this is the first time we've done the 10-day reading, and one of the things I posted was that the morning after the first reading, I came awake and I realized, oh, they're 10 days ahead of me, and it was, 9 days, and it was the first time I actually understood in an embodied sense what that 10-day massacre meant, you know. So that has been for me I suppose I would say the revelation of the weight of time. I began talking about time, the weight of time, and what it means that every day people were being selected to be thrown overboard. But as we were coming to the end there, one of the things that leaves me, where we were singing together, and singing the name Sade and Wale, there's always this moment of, it's a surprise for me still that in all that pain, that there are these moments of joy and sustenance and support. And usually when we're done with the readings at 2 or 3, I've never felt depressed or down about it. It's always you feel sort of cleaned out. Is one expression I use. Sort of something has gone through you. You feel as if you've sort of, like, when you lie on the beach after you swim in the sea and you just feel totally like, well, that's sort of, as if you've given in to something. So it's really interesting that although it's painful, but I felt really uplifted when I was had that refrain about Sade and Wale and Ade. It was like they were living still, And I think that's the gift of us doing it together and supporting each other. I don't know if you felt that.
Yeah, I felt like even before we did the reading, You said something along the lines of the weight of it, and I feel like I didn't realize how much I'd kind of like lagged on behind y'all in the reading, under that weight. I was grateful for when you had spoke ahead of time, allowing for yourself to take the time when you were reflecting before we even did the reading. You said it's not a matter of time. It's about like, and then reading the tweet where it was like it's about the taking back of time and bringing that time from the past to the present. I was thinking about breath because there was times where I couldn't read and I just had to breathe. And it was an odd feeling, feeling the weight of your own breath as you're talking about the seas. I felt like as I was breathing, I could feel the absence of the same, which might sound very weird. But at the end, I just thank you guys so much. We spoke about being held, and I really felt like you all held me, especially near the end as we were reading and you were humming and chiming in. I felt y'all, and I'm just so appreciative to share in this moment with each of you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think for me it was the moments where I caught us in unison. And even when we were saying different things, there was a moment where we're all kind of like at the same part but different parts in that part, and we all just like harmonized together, and that was really beautiful.
That was exquisite.
I really loved that. And then yeah, near the end, it felt like community. It was like you were still reading, and then some of us came back and you read different parts, or repeated words that you had said. It felt like that, like you said, of holding each other, that community care of like no one left behind. And so yeah, I felt community through that. Like I don't know. I know when we're kids, I think a lot of people in class did those games where it's like one person starts a song. It's like "Don't throw your junk in my backyard," and then you keep going. And it's when you do it, it's like fun. But in this moment, it was feeling that connection to each other, but not just to each other, to like the names that we were calling on and those around us. And I have my altar lit right now, so it felt like I was calling on everything around me to be in this space with us. So I think that was, yeah, connectiveness. I think was the word that I would use.
Thank you. So beautiful. Any questions? Any other comments?
There was a moment, I maybe it was like in the middle of the reading, where we were all silent at the same time.
I remember that.
And it was so beautiful. It was nice. I feel like a part of me was anxious because I was like, did we finish the book already?
and yeah, it was beautiful. I get anxious too.
Okay, is that working?
Hi, Kobena. Hi.
It felt at the end when we were all kind of coming in with different vocalizations and coming back to different words, that it really felt that we were building waves under each other, and almost like when like one bird calls and then all the birds are like, oh, you don't have to call alone, like we'll just make a flurry around you so that you can like call your strongest voice. And that's kind of what it felt like, and that felt like it really touched like each of us in its own kind of pattern. It was really magical.
Kobena, how was it? Can you hear us?
Yeah, it's good here. You hear me okay?
Yeah, we're hearing you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Although we didn't hear you, but we could see you at the end there.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it was a feeling. And there were times I wasn't hearing, times I was hearing, and it was by memory of the experience and going through the feeling and the energy. Not just the feeling, actually the energy. Yeah, the energy of everything. It's funny, it seems to feel short. I think the first time I participated, I was reading the whole evening, and I think, I don't remember if it was 4 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, 6, I don't even remember. There was a point where it just didn't matter at all, and
Yeah.
I think the birds were chirping, so I don't know what that meant, but
Well, this is very short compared to what we
yeah.
usually do, right? Yeah.
But yeah, it was a beautiful experience, and hearing the voices and hearing sometimes fewer voices, more voices. To me, I kept thinking of the sea. I kept thinking of the ocean. Sometimes if you saw me leaving, I have some chimes and some gong chimes around the studio. So I was walking around playing different things. I don't know if they all.
No, we
we'll
didn't.
see if it all came through.
Yeah.
We see it, but yeah, I walked around and played some other things around the space.
That's
so.
beautiful. Beautiful.
I didn't play this one. Maybe I'll play something just for you. Why don't I do it now?
Okay.
I'll play something short just for everybody just now. That's okay?
That's
You have time for
beautiful.
that?
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Wow.
That's for all of you.
Thank you. Well, this is the end, my friends. We have to say goodbye until next year. Zong.
NourbeSe, I just wanted to say one thing. I just wanted to say thank you so much for creating, for having us in this space with you. I think for a lot of Afro-Caribbean folks, things like Ifa and Obia and Santeria and Voodoo and Hoodoo and all of these things oftentimes are shunned upon by others in community. And so I personally have found it very hard to find elders and community members generationally who practice this and create room for this type of spirituality. And so I just want to say a deepest thank you to you for giving us this generational connection to our spirituality in a way in which I think a lot of us didn't get in our homes growing up. And these are the things that we need. And so I just want to thank you the deepest from my heart for this. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I deeply appreciate your saying that. And yes, I know what you mean about the way it's shunned and thought of as demonic. And I just want to say that for many of our ancestors, that's what kept them going, those knowledges and the herbs and that are all connected and so on. And I respect all religions, but I think it's important that we acknowledge that legacy, because there's so much richness in it for us. So much we can benefit, not only in a lived experience, but even as writers, as artists, the iconography, the songs, the wisdoms, you know. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. So thank you for that, Shaneese. Thank you very much. My heart to yours. Thank you, Collective Broadcasting. Thank you, everyone who helped on this, and to these 4 wonderful young people. I think our future is in good hands. And all the best in all your endeavors, writing, art, whatever it is you're all doing. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Kobena, thank you. We'll be talking. Yeah.